Hi there, it's Miss Nowakowski coming to you from the studio at Grower Elementary in the Richmond School District. The project I'm going to share with you today in this video is making Truchet tiles. So Truchet tiles are square tiles that come together. These ones are divided in half diagonally, and you can move them, rotate them, translate them, slide them around to create new shapes. So I can put these two triangles together to make a larger triangle. Try and imagine what you could do with 4 triangles, 8, etc. You can make different patterns and designs. So the materials you'll need for this project, I've just used a cereal box for my recycling to get some not too heavy cardboard, but not paper. Paper's a little bit too thin for this. And then you'll need a ruler and a pencil or marker of some sort to mark out your squares, and then scissors or a paper cutter to cut out your squares. And then you can either use markers or crayons or paint to paint one side or both sides of your Truchet tiles. Okay, to make Truchet tiles, you just begin with a box of some sort. This was from my recycling. This is a cereal that my son eats. And I'm just going to open this up to create a net of this rectangular prism of a box. And now I'm going to use one of these rectangles from the inside here. And I'm going to, again, cut off these extra tabs to create a rectangle. And then I'm going to measure the dimensions of the rectangle and think about what size of squares I can make. So we're going to basically create a grid and cut squares out of this rectangle. So an array or a grid. I'm just going to make sure that this is a relatively straight cut here. And again, you could use a ruler to draw the lines and cut along them, but you need to, again, use your box and get a rectangle, cut out from the cardboard. So I've measured across this, and this is 18 and a half centimeters, and this way is just about 28 centimeters. So I'm trying to think, you know, if I did them by 6s, I could only get 3 across that way, 6 centimeters, and I could only get 4 across this way, so I think I'll do 5 centimeters. So I'm going to mark along here every 5 centimeters. And you could do this on the back as well, and then your marks wouldn't show the front, but I'm going to cut and paint along this anyway. So 5, 10, 15. So those are my 5 centimeters here. And then along the long side, again, I'll start, let's see, I'll start at 25 here. I'll put my ruler at 25, and then 20, 15, 10, 5, and oh, that's 6. See, watch what I'm doing here. 5 and 0. Okay? And then I'll draw lines across. I could do the measurements on this side as well. I'm just going to visualize that I'm getting these nice and straight here. And then I will cut along these lines to cut out squares. I'm going to have some extra pieces here on the side, but I will have 1, 2, 3 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I will have 3 times 5. I'll have 15 Truchet tiles. Now I could also do this on the other rectangle from this box, and then I would have 30 Truchet tiles. So each tile is a square. Okay, so there's my 5 centimeters across this way, and now I'm doing my 5 centimeters across this way. And again, it is important to try and get this as even as possible because you want your tiles to line up. So these parts here are just extra, and so I'll be cutting those off. Now before I cut out the squares, I'm going to draw my diagonal lines in that cut each square in half. We'll paint or color one half and leave the other half plain, or you could do another color. You could do this after you cut as well, but it's a little bit more efficient to do it this way. So I'm going to just go from corner to corner here, and then through those center intersections of where my lines cross. And you can see there's one diagonal line. line up your points with your straight edge or your ruler. Now this one is just from corner to corner across the diagonal here. So opposite corners or vertices. And this one. And then once you've made your Truchet tiles, you move them around, you rotate them, you translate them, and see what different designs and patterns you can create. Oh, I didn't go all the way down here. So you do all your diagonals, and then we're going to cut out the squares along the lines. So once you have all your Truchet tiles cut out, you can use a marker and just color 1/2 of the Truchet tile. You could use 2 different colors. I'm going to use paint and just paint 1/2 and leave the other side the color of the box board. Remember that the back is the cereal box, so you've got that design there too, and you could put that together like a puzzle afterwards as well. So I'm just going to pick some paint up here and paint, add some color to 1/2. I'm going to go right along that center line using a straight edged brush here. Pick up some more color. There, and there's one Truchet tile done. So now that we've made our Truchet tiles, we can play around with them and see how we can put them together to create new shapes. So if I rotate this one, I can form a larger triangle. And then if I add another triangle here, another triangle here, I can form a square. So I could do a series of squares and use that as part of a pattern. If I take my Truchet tile here and I take this one and I rotate it this way, I can create a bit of a diagonal stripe pattern. So how could I continue that? Let's see, where would that continue? So I rotate my tile to see sort of how that fits together as a puzzle. So there I'm continuing this. You can see this is the same, just translated and translated, moved up and over, or I can slide it over, and then same with this one. Slide this up and over. I can create my diagonal stripe there. So play around with your Truchet tiles and see what sort of designs and patterns you can create. So once you have one design, think about how you could transform it to create a different design. So I've got 3 squares here, and if I just translate the second row all over one spot, I'm starting to create a zigzag or a chevron pattern. And then I can add to this. So this one would then have one going here. This one would have, let's see, going up here. So there's my zigzag or chevron pattern by transforming the 3 squares.